I think Leona and Nautilus have a worse time into Braum.
Yeah.
And it was pretty telegraphed. But yeah, so I think, you know, the Rel, pretty important for the side of KT. I think they're happy with their lane matchups.
Value with that piercing light. There's Cuz on spawn. Ready to get over here, make something happen. Peter, will he be able to clear out this control ward? That's the question.
Well, I mean, he might have been able to, but Dr. probably would have died if he did, so...
Yeah, running back towards this lane. Owner with a couple of grubs after the first was secured by Cuz. So no real big advantages being taken yet, but T1 have naturally moved to about a 500 gold lead.
Steal away the blue, but I think Cuz isn't too bothered. He will just pick up the dragon in return. The fact that you got that one grub from the first set, you got the dragon, I think he's pretty happy with how things panned out. And it being an ocean dragon.
Teams are going to be strong. And I feel like T1 right now is looking like a good moment as Faker wants to catch up and pick up Peter. Deadly Flourish doesn't find the mark though. And I think this Rel is just dead. Teleport to come in from the Rumble. There's a teleport also from the Galio that doesn't quite work out, but that Blast Cone is working out here. And Doctarm looking to try and turn this. Good knock up onto Doran there as the heroic entrance comes through. And now the taunt will set up for the 4th bullet. Doran still alive for so long as they take down the Galio. They get rid of the Viegos. Gumayusi is caught and thrown in under the turret, but they're unable to kill him. Faker is still at such high health, and BDD hits the floor. T1 walk away the huge victors in this fight, and Peter still wanting a little bit more off the back end. Don't think they're going to quite find it as Deadly Flourish, actually. Let's see whether Doctarm can do anything. As Owner going in one more time. Dancing Grenade value going to be pretty high, but not high enough as Peter hits the deck as well. KT wanting to find something in amongst it.
I also think getting baited a good amount by some of the healing that like the Xin Zhao and the Ahri have in their kits.
True.
And with the items, but you need follow-up, and when your only follow-up is the Jhin, who wasn't even that close.
That equalizer positioning absolutely fantastic there by Doran as Cuz not quite able to do anything. Is Peter going to close in on Carrier, but they lose their Galio already. The curtain has been called as Gumayusi taking a bit of damage, but Cuz just having to get out of there. BDD wanting to be the hero, finds the Emperor's Divide, and they take down the Lucian. Shutdown comes in, and now Cuz has turned into a very, very powerful AD carry. It's just not quite enough to be able to get anything else done, and T1 still walk away feeling better. Even out at the Void Grubs. We don't have any feats of strength outside of the feats of warfare that T1 have put together so far, so still looking for first turret and still looking for these objectives. This is not going to get anything for anyone though, as they've shared.
Turret likely to go down in the bot lane any second, so T1 should be able to secure those. I think Doran is just denying farm as best he can.
Right, there it goes.
It is farm.
Cool new shoes now put together for T1.
Is when second items start to come in for members of T1, that's when you really start to feel behind in the game.
Yeah. KT still, they have a lot of wombo potential. I feel like there is some of these like big moment opportunities for a composition like this if they can get. I'm a little bit worried about the whole Hextech Soul situation. As Cuz looking for a potential gank onto Faker, but instead he just finds the entirety of T1 and dies. The Galio comes in, Gumayusi will get knocked up. Peter's alongside him, Emperor's Divide picks up Guma, but he dashes his way out. He looks like he's going to be safe as Doctarm actually flashing in to get on top of him. The equalizer does a lot of damage, but so does BDD. Faker trying to get out of there, Doctarm. He needs another bullet, but does not have it. And KT now just running for the hills. In the meantime, Owner is just destroying KT's stuff.
With the Viego dead as well, you just don't have the throughput in these longer fights.
Yep, Owner is now going to utilize that time spent on the bottom side to do a lot of damage here to Peter and casting. Great knock-up with the crash down from Peter. Will keep casting alive at least as Doran tanks up the turret for a long time. Cuz wanting to make his way in, waste no time as he flashes forward. This could be some resets. As Carrier puts up the door, and Cuz still looking for more, but look at that. It's the concussive blows. It is so difficult for KT to deal with. As the bullets coming on through their great dash to bait in casting from Gumayusi. Just be set up as there's a shattering strike. Okay, Owner taking a lot of damage. Heartbreaker comes forward. Cuz is now another jungler as he looks to get on top of Carrier. Great knock-up just to interrupt. And now the resets fly through. Doran, though, gets the equalizer down. BDD is going to greet him as Deadly Flourish will go wide. Look at how low these health bars are as the other card is looking terrifying. And that is 2.5k kills for BDD. Congratulations. It's still a really hard game.
You're going to fight, but the rest of the team needs to make something happen quickly.
Yep. Casting can always get in if someone does decide to go for an engage. That looks like it's going to be Peter. Let's see whether he can get the angle as Cuz going to get blocked off the equalizer. Great position to keep the Viego out as Peter is actually out of there. He steals a heal! How the heck did he even get in? He's going to withdraw as well, and I think that KT will say, Worth, you do not need to fight. You do not need to fight.
You don't suffer as much if you die.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I'm a little bit concerned for KT right now, but...
Are you sure? Because I've seen our players play as, okay, this is looking a bit stronger. Doran is just dead. He had no equalizer, of course, so at least it's not that T1 weren't able to utilize it, but now they will be able to collect themselves the dragon, and incrementally, KT are finding little advantages to bring them back into this game.
Definitely gives you a confidence boost.
Peter's dead. Well, he's not dead. Emperor's Divide is going to deliver Owner as well. Let's see what they can find here as he's dueling against Cuz. Owner able to flash out, though, denies the reset as Carrier does fall. Still, it's a gorgeous charm there from Faker, who's just keeping control of this Galio, and everyone is going to be withdrawing.
Oh no.
As Faker is going in, does have another charge of the Spirit Rush, is wondering when to use it. Does find the charm here onto Casting as Owner setting up for it. That is a Justice Punch as Casting trying to get himself out of there. The culling will cut him down though, and down goes BDD as well. It's a double for Gumayusi as KT trying to find some follow-up kills as the charm this time will go wide, despite the fact that Faker has been so incredibly accurate with that ability so far today.
Into T1 and die! And I just don't understand it. I feel like they'd really put themselves in a position where, as much as the game wasn't in a good spot, it wasn't
fully cooked yet.
So often teams are like, okay, the AD carries a whole item on ours.
They don't understand what weakness is, Orcs. That's how it works.
You're so right.
Equalizer goes down. There's a Glacial Fissure as well as Faker. Gorgeous wraparound, and you kill the Viego, and you cut the legs out from under KT. Now they just have to wait. Inner turret does fall down. They invest a bit in order to get it, but they will get so much for that investment. The returns are looking good as they take down the first inhibitor of the game. And T1, this game one, looking definitely like they have it in the bag. Still taking a bit of damage here. BDD does need to be respected, but it looks like that's exactly what T1 are going to do. They will take down this inhibitor turret at the same time as Faker once again throws out the ulti. This time doesn't hit the charm, but he doesn't have to.
So much damage done to the base here. And now they can just back away. Dragon up at 30 seconds. They could probably reset before that with the Barons. So it was all planned.
You need to buy, like, okay, never mind. They are so far away from their base. And now T1 are looking to cut them down once again. Casting in an awkward spot. Magnetstorm connects onto just Faker as now Owner goes in and buys so much space. Casting able to flash his way out, but Owner is able to follow him. Doran goes golden in the nick of time as well as KT are just losing members one after the other. But BDD finding a huge shuffle. Oh, Gumayusi, my God, the damage is absurd. And BDD is still here. The Sand Soldiers are set up and he goes golden just in time. But he is the last man and BDD cannot do it alone. That's what we've been learning this whole year. And T1 will walk forward and finish off game one.
I feel like some of the fights even, KT were playing pretty well, but they're just so far behind, and they just opt into every single fight. T1 cool, calm, and collected.
9-1 and 9 for Owner on this Xin Zhao. It is his best champion, and he keeps getting it every series. Nexus goes down, and T1 will be victorious in the first game. It's a best of 3. Still need to keep your heads in the game. This is, I think when we load into this game, people are going to look at the teams and be like, how the heck did this draft even happen?
Yeah. They're looking for, I mean, this is Elise. She's great at diving.
All right. See where the carrier is going to go down. Remember, doesn't have his flash available. Good handshake does come on through. The bailout comes down, and Elise, like you say, good at diving. And so that is going to be first blood going over to Doctom.
Okay, this is good moves coming out. Oh.
Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, an Infernal Chain is going to land, and he doesn't pick up the turret aggro. So like you were saying, turret is going to reset. Flash comes out finally here as Owner going to have to flash and does survive. Levi getting off to a good start, but still, I mean, it could be worse.
It definitely could be worse. That, you know, you've never said throw wins. It definitely could be in a worse position. They will be able to pick up the City Dragon, though. And again, it's an Ocean Dragon. Nice one to get in the early levels for that extra sustain.
Yep, and no one's around the Grots just yet as well. And so they get the Drake without having to sacrifice too much.
So we'll see if they can make it work.
Yeah, Peter going to come on over. They find the Cocoon onto Gumayusi. He's taking a lot of damage. Does have the bailout as Cuz Gonna have to get out of there as well. There's the repel, and Peter is gonna get Fate's called back. Guma able to go down there as it is Cuz picking up the kill. BDD moving over, another Cocoon, grasping more, and Peter is taking control of this bottom lane. BDD loses half of his health bar, and Ona says, I know what time it is. They're ganking my bottom lane. I'm killing casting again. Let's see whether he can actually get this one down as Doran goes in, finds the slice and dice. He's tanking up that turret, and down goes the Aatrox. Managed to get the plate money, as we see there. Carrier now, hostile takeover available. As Cuz looking to grab some grubs. First round were secured there by T1. And T1 going to be able to get themselves the dragon. So, Mountain sold here in our second game. I find it so hard to stay positive, Ox. I'm really struggling.
Really trying.
Yeah. So far, it's looking okay, actually.
I mean, the Callister is strong. Because let's be real, if the Callister was not strong, it would be pretty cooked. But
yeah.
Dr. is pretty strong. They had some success in the bot lane. I mean, here's a Callister of all AD carries. You're pretty comfortable.
Whoa! Oh! There's a flash. The flash comes out from Carrier, but it doesn't quite work. He's taking so much damage, but the hostile takeover is too good! Casting has to flash away as Cuz. A lot of damage there available as BDD coming on over. That is gorgeous amounts of CC being thrown out by the way. The Infernal Chains will connect. Another knock-up as Gumayusi trying to run, but he's not going to get anywhere, and it's a double kill for BDD on the way. His bottom lane. Oh God, am I thinking positive thoughts about KT right now? I think I am.
I am too. I think we're in on this one.
So they get themselves feats of strength. Doran would have been pretty close to securing that one for himself. But he's going to demolish it now. A little bit late, still able to get there, and it's a gold lead. It's a real one for KT. It'll be eradicated very soon, as Doran, as you can see, ready to take that one down. So
7k gold behind last game.
Yeah.
But they're actually ahead now.
Fate's call comes on through. Doran not going to get knocked up, but the Cocoon is going to land. This is a lot of money if they're able to take down the Renekton, but it's a lot of damage if they can't. The Glacial Prison goes wide, but so does the hostile takeover. Doesn't quite find the value they're looking for, and now Carrier has overstepped the mark, and BDD, oh, he can hold him in place for forever. There he is, just eats him. And that's another one. 4-0-2 for BDD on the way. And KT, it just took having what looked on paper like the worst draft we've seen in the history of the LCK for 2025 for them to feel absolutely fantastic and find all the advantages.
They're just locked in, you know, and it kind of goes to show that it's not all about draft. They find the angles, they play around the bot lane extremely.
You mentioned that KT just need to lock in.
Yeah.
This looks like a locked-in KT.
He looks so locked in.
To a favorable position. Rift Herald will stop that from being a reality as Gumayusi comes over, but he's not going to stop this tower from going down. And so mid-outer, pretty important one, as Handshake comes through. Cuz happy to eat that though, as they're just looking for another charge, and they will be able to get it. He doesn't have a turret here, and so he's probably dead. He has a lot of practice at being dead in this game though, as he does flash away from the gravity well. Arrow going to be avoided, does get the auto as well for the extra healing, but Ona is underneath the inhibitor turret now. Another heal comes through as Faker getting taken down low. The turret was charged up, but not charged up enough, and now KT are looking to answer this one with an Otacon towards the bottom side of the map.
She's just gone. You know, if that Q3 had hit, I mean, maybe even casting turns it around more, but at the end of the day, we'll get this Ruinous Otacon, although this is an early TP from BDD.
Yeah, that is a confident TP if ever I've seen one. They have Rend, they have Smite. Cuz also doesn't have a lot of resistances as it's only Doctorm hit by the hostile takeover. They really want to take some of these flowers down. Cuz with the flash away, Doran slicing, doesn't find it.
Has to, you know, we've kind of talked about object permanence, has to be there.
Well, Glacial Prison going to come down as Owner is going to look to turn it. Peter gets pulled back. And it's a fair bit of damage available here. Only one hit by the hostile takeover. That'll spell the end of Ona as he does get bailed out, but unfortunately it doesn't do too much. As Doran, he's pressed his R button. Okay.
I think ultimately Faker out of position a little bit on the setup for that fight, and Ona does everything he can to save him, but a pretty heavy cost to pay. And, you know, just like I wasn't super in agreement with that TP from BDD.
Arrow is there, so Gumayusi can start a fight whenever they would like to. Looks like T1 want to as well. The arrow is going to sail over. Hostile takeover working out. BDD goes golden, but now Doran is in amongst the fight. Casting as well, though, with that World Ender, getting some work done. They take down the Renekton, but the Aatrox cannot survive, and the Chaos Storm is just massive. T1 finally finding themselves a team fight.
Beautiful engage there from T1, getting right on the BDD, and it was so unfortunate because Peter repelled, and in the end, it meant the arrow hit BDD instead, and I think maybe it was never going to be a great fight for KT, but maybe if you tanked the arrow, BDD could have survived a little bit longer, but I think either way, it was just a beautiful engage from T1. Now,
Doctom wants this against Faker. He doesn't have his ulti, as now Cuz comes on over, and that is just a kill. Really nicely done here by KT. They're going to lose the Baron, but they'll at least take themselves an inner turret, and for a small, brief second, so much more durable, so difficult to take down. The problem is T1 have so much map control off the back of this Baron that this Dragon is going to be most likely a bridge too far.
Because that last fight and the Baron, if you look at the levels, Doran, Ona, and Faker are all level 16.
Out of harm's way. The problem was he was in melee range with a Vi. Of course, she flashed on top of him. That made things difficult. But now, you were mentioning the Arcane Storm. That goes down, and so does the Dragon. And this is just T1 extricating money from KT's side of the map. Casting comes on over, so that tier 2 doesn't actually fall, but this one does. T1 move ever further ahead. Now 3,000 gold, starting to become a real lead.
They are going to start at the Baron.
Oh god. And Doran now getting all that fury. Dominus has been popped down to 50%. As Arrow going to get tanked. Fate's Call going to pull Peter back. As Doran going to be the target, he flashes away. As now KT off the Baron for the moment. Doran in an awkward position as Peter finds another cocoon. Casting gets over the wall, but now the rest of T1 move on over, and Casting has been cornered off. The flash over from Cuz is decent, but Peter is just dead. This Arcane Storm is so scary, and Ona gets on in there. The flash on forward, Casting trying to find these Qs, but T1 are a freight train, and Doctom is dancing, but I just don't know whether he's got the tune, and he does not. Down goes Casting as well. It's a catastrophe for KT, and T1 may just win the game right here.
KT putting a great effort, you know, managing to find some big advantages on the bot side, but when it comes to those team fights, so hard to deal with his T1 composition and the excellence when it comes to fights around Baron. The Arcane Storm was the size of a lane at the end of that fight, and they will close this one out 2-0.
Yeah, T1 just a little bit too better here today. They put up the homestand last time, and KT got the better of them, and they return the favor. Yep.
The Ashe Braum 5v5s, you've got such a strong front line, you've got great backline damage, and those skirmishes as well are going to be very difficult to deal with.
Yep, if I was looking at this and instead of DN Freaks it said Humble Life Esports, I'd say that this is unplayable for Bro.
He held that vision for so long, but he could have moved in quicker, and then yes, closes the information, but he can't cancel the TP. Speaking of canceling...
Oh god, okay, Polu's flashing, Doiv's jumping, and I think Doiv gonna have to flash as well. His door not quite as powerful as Hype goes in as well. Doiv is dead, does get a lot of summoner spells for his troubles, but that is still first blood going over to the 80 carry of the Bros, and that is what you get. Back once again, Polu comes on over. Emperor's Divide gonna be blocked as there's the flash forward from Closer, but unable to actually get too much out of it. And now Polu's the one that's in trouble. Pengyan, do you have a Q available? He doesn't, but Doiv does, and he's gonna be able to grab a follow-up kill here for DN Freaks. And now able to move on over towards this grub pit as well. And you can see Croco was only able to grab 2 of them, so not going to be able to get the feat of strength or anything like that. Still getting the majority is great here for Bro.
Yeah, but I think DN Freaks happy they're able to turn that around and get that kill. Ultimately, it was a good play onto Pengyan there, but I think they just overstepped their hand without Flash, even though he has that level advantage. He's level 6 to Croco's 5. So that trio, so much power between them.
Yep. So not going to risk it. Hype going to get spotted by a Void Seeker. And Doiv just going to answer this by taking down the enemy red buff, Dudu and Morgan. Fighting once again.
DN Freaks aren't really in position to contest this. In fact, the Berserker's farming the wave. The Azir's not even there yet. This could just be 3 grubs for Bro.
Theoretically, there is a Killer Instinct available here for Berserker if they do want to get on over. Void Seeker is going to connect onto Hype. If there's a Pop Blossom, Flash comes through. That's a lot of value. Weave as well to bring Closer in, though. And now Croco is looking to turn it. Life just gets eviscerated in an instant as Pengyan does make his way out and gets out before the concussive blows goes off. Never mind, though. Closer gets over that wall and takes him out. And now Doiv and Berserker needing to leave. And Bro just having the answers here.
Stops Doiv from following up, and then they just...
Closer's dead.
Yeah. I was going to say they turn onto the Nico, but they turn onto the Talia in this situation. And now DM Freak should be able to clean up. It was an ult from Doiv that managed to get him onto the Talia.
Yep. One of the grubs was taken here by Croco, who just values getting as much experience as possible. Maybe the bros just don't really care about grubs.
It's risky. It's so hard, especially both the Pantheon and the Nico have no flash. Pushing into this team, very difficult because they're both champions that can survive a long time, but aren't tanky. You know, the Nico obviously has a roll and has her W that can sort of buy time. The Pantheon has a stun, but like, if you get hit by a bit of CC, you're dead.
Yeah.
Does Santa just wear like board shorts?
Oh yeah, all the time. He drives a ute as well. It's fantastic. As Croco gets engaged on, but he kind of likes that. Pop Blossom as the answer, but I think Life is still dead. And Pungyan, he's going to have to do some funny business to get himself out. Does manage to do so. Voidseeker comes in, hits Polo, and he does not care. Okay, DM Freaks, are we fighting for this? Or are we looking for something else? Life pretty close to having that Pop Blossom, but not quite with it in hand just yet. And they don't even know the health bar. Now they do, as Berserker finds a Voidseeker. Closer not finding the angle just yet. As Life really wanted to flash on in, get that Pop Blossom happening. Arrow going to come on through. There is the snapback and the immediate flash away from Doiv. The DN Freaks understand that they're not able to do anything about this. Says, okay, Berserker goes in, just nabs himself a kill. Nicely done. Flash Emperor's Divide, and Croco now finds himself in amongst it. Let's see whether he can keep himself alive as Pungyan sidesteps the seismic shove and then takes a billion rocks to the face and dies. Croco going 1v1 against Berserker, and it does not work. But Life is on the floor once again. And Bro win yet another team fight, this time with a triple kill for their AD carry.
But ultimately, Bro come out ahead after securing the Herald as well.
Yeah, really nicely played here by the Bros. For reasons, you know, and not necessarily ones you want to talk about. The DM Freaks are going to try and defend their bottom outer turret. Just don't know about it, as it will be taken down. The rest of Bros still defending, making sure that these two are going to be able to make it out okay.
To get access to this dragon, it's so hard against this team.
Yep. Shape Splitter is at least going to buy them a little bit of information, as there's a flash. Nabs 2 as well, as Life is able to at least get something done, but it's another great flick back onto Berserker, and he just throws himself into the mix. I don't know about that one, as this team fight has Morgan in it. Pungyan being able to find the Braum is kind of cool, but who cares? Hype's able to shut him down, and this Scion, the first team fight he's in, he nabs 2 kills for himself and looks great. This is a mistake. Well, I think the Bros are probably going to be okay. That's my feeling. The rest of the DN Freaks are going to try and prove me wrong, though. Teleport comes in. It's an honest 5v5. Can the Bros get something done? Morgan's been softened up here.
Yeah, you got to remember as well the resist shredding that comes out, even if you are tanky.
Arrow going to connect onto Pungyan. There's the flick back as well, just delivered on a silver platter. But the answering kill is going to be there. Mid lane for support, though, doesn't feel great for the DN Freaks.
Lane swap meta where picks like Scion would be, you know, down 50, 60, 80, 100 CS on the 80 carries. A fed Scion is demonic.
Well, let's see whether this fed Scion can just drive his way out, or whether he doesn't even have to. Pungyan's right here, so he is going to be able to give them an idea that they're going to be starting this one off. It is on down very quickly. Okay, teleport in. The Scion is going to be joining. That looks like the decision is, let's just do it. And let's see whether Nike was the right call, as they do manage to get the Arakan, so they get the buff, but can they find more? That is just one with the Pop Blossom, but it might be the best one that Life has found so far, as Dudu also able to take down Croco. Pungyan turns up to the fight so that he can just get recalled, and the rest of the team is also dead now as well. Well, not dead, but sort of dead.
Yeah, so it ends up being a 1-for-5, and sure, they're recalled, they're not actually dead. This is when Hype shows up, and it's like, okay, and Morgan got it.
Pungyan, like, getting over the wall and being like, I'm ready to DPS, and then immediately getting arrowed to the face. Not a lot of actual engage.
You get the flash from Doiv and Berserker, though, so pretty big cooldowns to burn, although at the cost of 2 big ultimates in the Ashe and Brooms, you're not going to have this dragon fight in 10 seconds. Oh, Doiv.
Yeah, there's the Pop Blossom, though. Finds 3 in the backline. Dudu on a flank angle, but Croco's pretty tanky. Morgan's immovable, and they go 1-for-1. But there's the crash. This Scion. Oh, no, it is despair, but it's despair for DNF, as Berserker going to get ripped to shreds. And yes, Morgan is unable to be killed.
They just cannot cut through him, you know? He walks forward, and in the meantime, the rest of Bro is slowly mounting. The engage just landed on the Hype, but Dudu's just not in range to immediately follow up, and Apollo's immediately there to apply the passive. Morgan is just in the mixer. And
It's on purpose. That's actually...
Yeah, he's doing that to get a good amount of sustain out.
I like it.
In between all this poke. Now, it has been started by DNF. This is risky.
Yeah. Morgan's health bar is well and truly recouped, though. See what the bros can actually do off the back of it as the DN Freaks not starting off any fight just yet, as Dudu might be the target. There's the crash from Morgan. Pop Blossom, though, used mainly defensively, but Croco is dead. And now the Baron not smiteable on their side, and DN Freaks will be able to lock it down. They cannot lock down the team fight. Berserker going to get arrowed as well, as they all just try to run after him. Look at Hype, he's going so fast. The Penta for Hype off the back end of the Baron attempt from DNF. And the bros are going to walk down the mid lane and win game 1.
This is what your bro tax pays for.
Exactly. That's why you need to paint the chat purple, ladies and gentlemen. Because then you get magic like this.
Baron may be secured by DN Freaks. Doiv doing his best against his old team, but Hype has been untouchable this game, and they will be able to take that game 1 win.
Really nicely done. Morgan, an absolute monster on this Scion, I swear. Always in the right place at the right time, as this Nexus, not long for the world, as Hype just trying to augment the kill bar. And in fact, it's Closer that grabs a couple of them. The bros make their way out, heads held high. Yeah.
If ever there's a situation where Zeri's next to Terrain, it really makes you re-question whether you can actually make an engage happen onto that pick. So
I also think Paranoia and Zeri are such a good combo.
Kill unlikely to come through, but he is window to potentially just reset. He is healing up though himself, so I think he's going to stay around a bit longer.
Whoa, he flashes and he just kills him.
That was slick.
That was slick, but also, Pungyan, what are we doing, buddy?
Yeah, I think just thought he had enough help, thought he could stay around, ended up getting caught out. Speaking of caught out...
Yeah, Morgan could be in trouble here because that's an overheat. That's a flash forward. Dudu may have silenced himself, but not the crowd here in LoL Park, as that is a solo kill.
And Dudu nearly has ultimate.
Yep, Doiv is going to be able to sweep this out as well. They know there is no information for Morgan. No flash, no hope, as there's the equalizer. Morgan now going to have to walk behind his turret, shattered and destroyed. Life even able to get out of there, only one turret shot.
Advantage by themselves, and you look to twist the knife by bringing up your support in jungle and making that dive work. Now, Polu is spotted, so... And ult does get picked up, so Pungyan should be safe here.
Yeah, Croco going to be able to grab the Raptors. So there is that. Doiv on these grubs. We'll actually get all 3 by the looks of things. And the DN Freaks continue to have a slight gold advantage here in this game. I do feel like Bro's composition isn't quite as robust as what the DN Freaks have put together.
There's a... Oh no, it's not. It's definitely not a ward in that brush.
Well, Doiv is definitely a Wukong, is now just going to go in on top of Morgan. The Ghoulie wall is gorgeous, but what can they actually do about it? Because down goes the Yorick. Dudu is going to be answered though, and the teleport is coming in. It is so slow though, as Closer comes on forward, gets over to the other side of the wall. The charm is good from Pungyan, and he knows he has to get out, but it's a 2 for 2. And the top side for the DN Freaks was so strong.
Close, unfortunately, the early TP takes a long time to get there, so he took...
In the meantime, it's a battle for Crab.
Yeah.
And Doiv smites it, so he cannot lock down this grub. But in they go. That's a great Magna Storm from Life, as now Polu finds the quickness onto multiple people. Pungyan making his way over. Flash out of the way of the charm is good, as Croco trying to get out, and Life says, nope, you stay right here. No flash available. And that is also going to be some grubs going over to the DN Freaks, and they are getting a real advantage off the back of this one.
Yeah, Croco had his flash, just trying to get out of the pit, but Life shuts that down. And even despite the fact you're lacking these big teamfight ultimates, not available for the Ahri, the Wukong, or the Rumble, hit. And then Dudu just chases Hype away, gets the flash, fighting again immediately.
Yeah, another Cyclone to come through here from Doiv, and Morgan is dead yet again.
Why is he there?
I don't know. We just came out of a replay.
Guys, there's a reason you pick Yorick.
He teleported there.
There's a reason you pick Yorick. It's not that. It's not to team fight dragons.
It's to side lane, much like what Dudu is doing. As maybe he's in trouble. Life is going to come on over. Let's see whether this 2v2 is going to work out, as He does get the scrap shield, the Magnetstorm as well. The equalizer is cooking them this whole time as Croco turns around, but it's not enough. The scrap shield and Dudu just cooks him. First turret, Closer tries to get a little bit of damage onto this one, but it's not quite going to work out. So first turret blood as well as the first 3 kills, and the DM Freaks will get themselves some feats of strength. And Dudu picking it up by himself makes a lot of sense. 2,000 gold now in the lead. He's upgraded his Swifties.
Just kill whoever you can see in that small pocket of light.
Well, Croco's going to get jump scared. The equalizer comes down. He decides to not walk down it, which I think makes some sense. Then he makes it dark and dies.
You know, should there be a spooky Rumble skin? Because I feel like he's a lot spookier than the Nocturne. He must have so much gold in the inventory.
Yes. I think he definitely does.
I feel
he
like
still also has like more items in his inventory currently than most other people on the map.
But I feel like it's not quite going to be this extreme. It definitely isn't. But I'd just be so funny if he just recalled his border Rabadons.
Yeah, he just builds a death cap instead of even like upgrading.
Yeah.
Like, this Hextech cookie is just chilling there, you know. He'll leave that one for another time. Feel quite nice. The DN Freaks now get to work on the first Cloud Drake of the game. It's another Cloud Soul. I've been pretty blessed here today.
Have a good day.
And a Cloud Souls. And no Chemtech Souls? Damn, you've been locked in today, Ox. I'm so proud of you.
I have been, thank you. So maybe that's it. But as we saw before, some picks are easier than others.
Well, Morgan has put Dudu in the ghoulie wall. There is actually a lot of value here because the equalizer does basically nothing. But the paranoia now going to come in. Morgan actually staying alive for so long, and my God! They're able to get the top side already! The DN Freaks, I don't know how they lost that, but the bros had the answer.
The difference Rumble has, honestly. And actually, Closer has the same lead as Rumble does. And now Dudu has the Shadow Flame.
Well, this turret going down, and Croco not going to get hit by the charm as more. Is it time that we now talk about things like the Zeri situation that could happen? As this turret will get taken out, 5 grubs certainly helping on that one. So the DN Freaks do create a little bit further of a lead.
I think it's a bit early still to talk Zeri, you know.
Yeah, okay.
She's,
she does have a couple of items.
that'd be pretty great.
That's what I think may have happened.
That could be it.
So much bro tax. As Closer, speaking of which, is going to claim some by taking down this turret. And Croco now clearing out some vision here at the same time. They're not going to start the Otacon.
That is a massive spike. No one else is even level.
Phenomenal charms going to connect here as Croco is just dead. And, you know, you've been stacking up the House of Cards. Leon's still going in for more. But he is not going to get punished for it. Spirit Rush pretty powerful, and the DN Freaks looking for the soul point.
Is double the level of Follow.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Closer just at level 15.
And they haven't even taken a Ruinous Otacon or anything like that.
Yeah, he is very scary. Against the Nocturne, though, this is pretty scary.
Yeah, this is danger. Follow in the area, quickness in hand, life just flashing on over. The Magnetstorm catches him as he flashes away, has the quickness there as well, moves pretty fast, as now it could be a little bit of danger for good old Dudu. Hype coming on over, they will be able to get a kill for the Zeri, but they will lose the Otacon for it. And if you thought that Pungyan had a experience advantage before, he has more of one now.
End up going for a trade. You know, they do get the Rumble, they do get the tier 1 mid, but giving over the Ruinous Otacon and all those flowers.
Too much of an answer.
I just have no idea what he was doing there.
Yeah.
Or how, like, as a Rakan of all champions, is just dying solo to a Wukong.
Well, Dudu is going to just supervise this Baron, and that does just go over for free.
Yeah. Either way, they pop the cooldown to...
Oh, we're playing the side lanes, though, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and especially when Morgan's punching on the side, if you come and match him in that lane, makes it very uncomfortable.
Cool. Croco going to come on over and actually shadowing Closer, but also might be able to guarantee that this does go down. Doiv possibly getting into position here as the Cyclone not going to find the knock-up, and the Strike Breaker going to slow him up enough for Closer to get out of there. He did have to use the ultimate.
It represents
a lot of running fast.
A lot of movement speed. Yeah. Like, you can look at Berserker.
Like, what am I, like, what even is my gimmick now? Because she's the one that's supposed to be running real quick. But the inner turret going to go down.
You have to hit your Qs, you know, and if they're going side to side fast.
And another inner turret will hit the deck here. DN Freaks very comfortably able to push this lead ever further in the last few seconds of Baron.
I think they're kind of relying on Croco and Polo to make it engage, so they could slam that and Croco could ult in, but he could just die.
Baron is just gone. Berserker does so much damage. My goodness. Okay.
It gets used right at the end.
Well, now Croco is going to get engaged on as well as Pungyeon looking for it, but he's in a little bit too early. There's the paranoia, and now Hype doing a lot of work. Doiv not finding the value with the Cyclone, and Berserker does manage to take down the Rakan. Hype still doing some work, but Berserker is so huge in this fight. Morgan, 1 versus 3, and I don't think he really likes those odds. He's surviving for quite some time, but the Maiden's getting confused, and the DN Freaks, they get the ace, and they're going to look to bring us to that game number 3.
And there's a sad bro fan in the bottom right of your screen. Gonna have to try and find
No. This is the thing. If you're a bro fan, don't be sad. You get to watch another bro game.
True.
For free. Because otherwise, it just would have never happened.
Actually, is it free? Because you're paying bro tax for that game 3.
All right, well, yeah, that's a good point. You're going to have to pay a lot.
Yes, you are, Devon. You have to pay your bro tax.
I'm hoping that whale comes back as well, because they're going to need all the help they can get if they want to win this one. As 9,000 was the lead in the end.
I think they've navigated the draft pretty well.
I would agree.
Together. The Ezreal as well. Normally something we see banned away at this point, and Berserker Paladin it. Like, they have a great AD carry, they have a great support. I think with the pressure that DNF have on the top side, they should be picking up the grubs in trade for this, even if it's not immediate.
Yeah.
The fact that you have your bot laner here and your jungler.
Yeah, Hype actually taking a while to go for his recall. Of course, does have Strut, so it can get back to lane a little faster, but
pick up the dragon. It is going to be 3 grubs for the DM Freaks in return.
Yep. Berserker able to walk down as well, getting that lane shoved in. A lot of topside control here for the DN Freaks. They have a little bit of a gold lead as well. As a result of this, once again, that gold lead is in the top lane. As Dudu, a big benefactor of Berserker stopping that back.
At least Morgan hasn't been solo killed yet. That's the takeaway.
True. Procced here, and Morgan actually doesn't go for the minion. As Pungyeon, this time, he is likely to die. As Gravity Field goes down, and he is burning. Doiv doing a lot of damage here, though, as you can see. And the Spiraling Despair actually coming on through there as Doiv unable to find Closer, but the Ignite comes down from life. He gets the shield, but it's not enough to keep him alive. Now Doiv's the one that's in trouble. He's spinning around a lot as Croco is able to take it with the bleed. A lot of damage over time between these two junglers, but it is Bro coming out on top as far as the kills. I think it's very wholesome.
It's very cute.
I like it a lot. Sometimes you do need a hug. As Pungyeon, he's going to get a hug from a doggo, and often that is really therapeutic. This time it's not working out for him. They're able to get all of them. The DN Freaks were able to grab the first round. We'll also give Bro another step forward in the objective feat of strength. So a chance they could lock that down just by getting another dragon. That one is live and on the map.
Yeah, I would think that DN Freaks want to try and secure that themselves. The grub's being taken. We'll see if they make some moves towards, obviously, playing towards the Renekton side of the map, like a dive assassin-focused champion. But if she just launches the Q at you, it does so much damage, especially with the bleed. Especially if she hits 2.
Yeah.
Then you're chunked.
Well, Bro just going to give that one up. Morgan is fighting. And, Ox, come on, man.
Come down to that execution, especially with the Chemtech Soul as well. It takes so much pressure off because neither team is really as concerned as you might be with other souls.
Croco is going to get engaged on here. Headbutt Pulp comes through from life, but he's taking a lot of damage. Does have the Unbreakable Will. Untargetable is Croco, and now out of the fight. Doiv also going very, very low as Hype's at full health, but they take down the Poppy to start this one off. Phenomenal headbutt, but where is the answer? As Hype goes in and nothing really happens, they take out the Lilia, and out goes Berserker with the Blast Cone. Exactly the moment we just witnessed in the replay, and we are back to it one more time. It is now going to be Bro pushing up this mid lane, though, and they will be able to take down the outer turret. So DNF letting things slip a little bit when it comes to the macro play.
Yeah, Dudu has been hyper-focused on this bot tower, and he'll get it, but, you know...
Yeah, feats of strength still just go over
I'm
Bro.
going to be honest, who really cares that much? Well, Dudu, obviously.
Yeah.
Other than Dudu.
I was going to say, like, that's the answer to your question.
Test this because of the fact that Close is bot.
Guess what they're going to do, though?
TP, but he's actually running up very fast. Yeah. Dudu is not TPing.
Yeah, Doiv is just spinning around. Watch out, Ape does absolutely nothing as the Infernal Chains are in. Doiv is just melting, and he will go down. And as Croco gets over there and takes him out, there is the evicted Crocodile as well, as now Life is just by himself. Berserker's on the gravity well, and he will be taken out as well. And it's a double for Hype. Morgan's over the wall, wanting to get some revenge on this Crocodile, who will get pulled back and just obliterated. Pungyan just has to watch as all of his friends go down, and there's nothing he can do about that.
He didn't have TP, he just walked here, and what? It's so confusing to me why DN Freaks end up playing this out the way they did, but you know, Croco is...
maybe it's not time for Humbug to come back just yet. Croco looking real good. That's a happy Dagon as well. A 7-0-1 doggo. And so they don't die to him. So that's good news. Morgan going to take this outer turret on the top side of the map, though, as the Rift Herald was still alive. Okay. Well, that is going to be attempted once more. And the DN Freaks, I like the idea of not contesting.
Yeah.
Because they just don't have a lot of money. Doiv going to go for it, potential angle, but Croco has the smite and the range, and he'll be fine.
The thing is as well, when you have all your gold on an Apheri,
the closer can just walk underneath the turret, throw down a gravity field, and even put out Pungyan as he kills the turret.
Max, I'm seeing on the way pings on Atakan.
Oh no, oh no,
DNF.
no, not like this, not like this, not like this. Okay, I feel like Switch, you know, when
they're TPing, they're committing!
Cypher's near APOC, you know, it's not like this, DNF. Croco goes untargetable, guys. He does that a lot. As now Life moving forward, looking for the pulverized angle, and Morgan is moving in. The flash forward from Close, I don't know about that one. It's a double pole from Life, but he's down so low already. And Bro is just kind of untouched. Hype wanders past the Otacon and presses his R button. Doiv in so much trouble, a huge explosion as they take down the Poppy, but who cares? Croco is massive. He flips over the wall and Morgan is flying towards Pungyan. A triple kill. That's a 10-0-1 Neferi for Croco. And he's looking to make that one 11 as Pungyan looking to go down for the 11th kill. Yep, the doggo keeping it binary here on the Rift.
I just don't know what compelled them. It's like something affected DN Freaks. They're like, you know what? It's time just to send Atakan, and
we're gonna need to get some immunizations out, because this like Otacon epidemic that we are seeing here and so much to destroy in the enemy team's base. Doiv gonna come on over. We'll be able to at least get some of the chickens.
Well, I do have some good news for you. But they're killing Olu, so
yeah, Olu may be dead. Does get interrupted. My God, the Arcane Storm damage is disgusting. Life is not long for this world. It's a double for him off the back end as Morgan starting to become an absolute menace on the Rift. And Dudu is going to find himself the last man standing. Croco gets, I think he's 12th or 13th or something like that. Maybe he's going to grab 14. That's a bullet time to the back of the head. Point blank range. And the bros say, not today, DN Freaks. It's 0-10 time. And unfortunately, still winless here in the LCK. But the bros, a good bounce back after a difficult loss previously against DRX.
End up killing Polo with a flash, but it's like whatever. Doiv is just getting chased down, and it felt like Croco just one-shot him basically.
He definitely did.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at that scoreline now. 12-0-3.
I do have some KT.
Oh, God.
So the 0-10 primed KT takedown is a potential future.
Honestly, that one's winnable. That is definitely winnable.
And also, it would be very funny.
What is happening? Having a look at what... oh, they got the Otacon! They did it! It was their dream, and it has been achieved! As Life is going to see what he can do about getting them off the Nexus. The Otacon for Nexus trade is not what I was expecting, as the shortest keeper's verdict is going to push them away, and there goes the game.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.